She was stabbed, duct taped, and buried alive, and then clawed her way out of her own grave. And the most terrifying part? It was her husband who did it. This is one of the most disturbing survival stories I've ever come across. October 16th, 2022, Washington. 42-year-old young Sook An is in the middle of a vicious separation from her husband, Chae An. It had gotten so violent she had filed a restraining order for domestic abuse. That night, he showed up at her house, uninvited, unannounced. Sensing trouble, Young sends her children to the shop to get them out of harm's way. And then the argument starts. Chae is furious again about money, but Young won't back down. She tells him to leave and walks away. That's when it turned violent. He follows her into the bedroom, punched her in the head and punched her to the floor. He duct tapes her arms and legs and then drags her into the basement. But while bound, Young still fought back. Using the Apple Watch on her wrist, she managed to call 911. The dispatcher can hear muffled screams and thuds and then silence. By the time police arrived, it's too late. Chae's already gone and he's taken Young with him. In a horrifying move, he'd smashed her Apple Watch with a hammer while it was still on her wrist, then forced her into his car and fled the scene. Officers responded fast, so fast they passed him on the road. He drove her to the woods, dug a shallow grave and stabbed her in the chest. He then told her, "You're gonna die," and threw her in the hole, still tied up and still bleeding. He then buried her alive. She lay underground for nearly 12 hours, struggling to breathe under the weight of the dirt, struggling against the duct tape, using her body movements to eventually loosen the binding. Using every ounce of strength she had left, she clawed through the soil and clawed her way to the surface. She ran barefoot and bleeding, still bound in places, through dense forest for 20 minutes until she finally reached a house and began pounding on the door. The resident opened it to find a woman covered in dirt, soaked in blood, and barely standing. All she could say was, "My husband is trying to kill me. He's still out there." She was rushed to the hospital, and somehow she survived it all. Next day, the police found Chae still lurking in the woods. She was right, he really was still out there. He was arrested and sentenced to 13 years in prison for second-degree murder. What do you think? Is 13 years long enough? I'm MRG, and you've been listening to Told by MRG. Buried Alive, the young Sook An case.